Hello, everyone, and welcome to Beyond the Stage. I'm Ruth Egelman, joined by our host, Chris Carter. And this podcast is to let our listeners go beyond the stage and behind the scenes at Livermore Valley Arts and the Bankhead Theater. And we'll be interviewing some of our artists coming up for the 23-24 season. And today's guest is Keiko Matsui. Chris, it's the summertime. What do you do in the summer when there aren't any shows on the stage? Well, there aren't any Bankhead presents.
There's some shows. We have today's July 13th. We've got Debbie Gibson tonight. Did you hear about that one?
A little bit. Everybody, well, you know, Andrew and Kendra, who work in marketing and development, are super excited about this show. Andrew actually got tickets to the meet and greet this afternoon.
Wow.
So he's going to get to meet her up close and personal.
We probably could have figured out a way for him to meet her without getting the ticket. We do know.
Yeah. I guess somebody had an extra one, so they gave it to him.
Well, that was nice of him to go through the proper channels, I guess.
Yeah.
I was just listening to the sound check a few minutes ago before we started. It's a little bit loud, but I think they just got started, so we'll see. I think it's going to be a great show. There's a lot of video and lights and everything.
Yeah, I think they brought their own lighting package, is what Rachel was telling me.
Yeah, well, we brought in some lights, and Carrie, our production manager, has been asking me for a long time to get some concert lighting, some new concert lighting, and so we're going to see how this goes. And
yeah, I think concert lighting would make some of our shows just absolutely amazing. I mean, they're already really cool.
Yeah,
but that concert lighting would add another element.
Yeah,
so if we can pull it off, right? It's all about pulling it off and making it happen.
We can pull anything off. Have you been inside the theater? It's amazing. But no, so you're talking about this summer. I do have a trip planned. I'm leaving tomorrow. I'm going to Europe for 10 days. So I'm going to go to Italy. It's with my family.
And with your whole family, right? Like your sister and her kids are going.
Yeah, her kids and my parents. My dad just turned 80 this year. It's his mother is from this region in Italy, in northern Italy, near Venice, and that's where part of his family is from. I know Carter sounds really Italian. It's on his mom's side. It's we have relatives out there, and my dad's actually, my parents have gone out there a couple times, and I've met several of my Italian cousins when they come out to visit, but I've never been to where they're from. So we're really looking forward to it.
So you still have family there?
I do.
Where it's near Venice, or is it
near Venice? Yeah, it's in a town called Montebelluna. And it's kind of in the foothills between Venice and the Alps there. And they make Prosecco, is the kind of the wine of the region. So if you like dessert wine with bubbles in it, that's what they like.
That's
to
me.
Up there.
That's what I like. I like bubbles.
Yeah.
So I studied art history in college and resisted for the longest time taking Renaissance art because I was just not into it. I was into the Impressionism and you know the French artists and you know the early 19th century, late 19th century, early 20th century. And then I took Renaissance art and absolutely fell in love with it. I was surprised by how much I really enjoyed it. And
because it's the best, right?
Well, I mean, that's subjective. So.
No, it's not. That's objective. Keep going. That's okay.
Yeah, but I just fell in love with it. And so Italy's always been on my list of places to go and just really get into the art because it's all very public too. Like it's in churches and in squares and whatever their terminology is.
They love their art.
Yeah, and so I'm looking forward to someday going to Italy. We have plans in my household to go to Italy to see the bike race that goes on the Giro d'Italia, and just be able to travel the whole countryside and get to see it. But that's 3 weeks. I'll have to ask for vacation time.
You're going to need a lot of time.
I'm going to need some time. I'm banking time right now.
When I was 19, I went to the Vatican, and I've never seen anything like that in my life. Never since. If you love art and culture, I mean, that's just an amazing experience. It's massive.
I can imagine.
Massive. But yeah, this is my first time going back to Italy since I was 19 years old. And we're just going to Italy. Switzerland's nearby. And you know what the best thing about Switzerland is?
The borders Italy? I don't know. Chocolate and time. They have time for chocolate, right?
I was going to say, as far as the best thing about Switzerland, I don't really know either, but the flag is a big plus.
Oh. If people don't know what
did you like that?
Yes.
All right.
It's a good dad joke.
Yeah, I'll work on that. I'll work on it. I got other ones. Maybe the next time we'll do that. Anyways,
so today we talked to Keiko Matsui, who's going to be performing here on August 4th. She is fascinating. I loved the way that she talked about how she catches music, catches melodies. That was really cool.
I've never heard of the creative writing process like that.
Yeah, I was wondering if that was a familiar thing to you.
No,
just
and
the vocabulary.
Yeah, she said, look, and we asked her what music she listened to, and she said, I'm not really listening to anything right now because she needs the space to hear her own music, and catch it out of the air is kind of how she described it.
Right.
Really
she and I have interest. She and I have similar tastes in music, which I was surprised to hear her say. But I won't give any spoilers so that people will stay and listen to the interview, right?
Yeah, no, I'm excited too. I think it was a great interview, and she's been to the Bankhead at least 7 times that I know of. This will be her 8th trip, and really popular with the Livermore audience. And it's just incredibly talented musician, and her band is outstanding. So I hope everybody really enjoys this interview as much as we did. She will be coming to the Bankhead on August 4th, and you can buy tickets online at, go ahead, Ruth.
Livermore Arts, livermorearts.org. And they're going fast.
Yeah, they are going fast. This could be a sellout. So be sure to get your tickets now to see the incredible Keiko Matsui and enjoy the interview.
From Tokyo.
Oh, are you tired?
Jet lag.
Okay.
A little jet lag. What's the time difference between Tokyo and
I think it's 16 hours.
So you time traveled. You went back in time.
Yes. So doesn't matter where I'm
Well,
you're here right now.
You're here. Yeah, thank you, Keiko. So I'm Chris. I'm the executive director at the Bankhead. And before a couple of times, you did something really nice for us. I just remembered during COVID, we had a fundraiser and asked you to do a video for us, and you did a beautiful video and helped us raise some money to keep us open. So
happy to hear.
Yeah, thank you for doing that. I really appreciate it.
Thank you for your support for many years.
Yeah, my pleasure. And this is Ruth. Ruth, you want to introduce yourself real quick?
Hi, Keiko. My name's Ruth Eggerman. I'm the director of marketing here. Ruth Eggerman. Nice to meet you.
Nice to meet you too.
You're so popular here. It makes my job easy.
Happy to be back again.
Yeah.
Okay. All right. Yes. Well, welcome, Keiko Matsui. Going to be performing at the Bankhead Theater on August 4th. And Keiko, we're so glad to have you back. I was looking it up. I know you've been here a lot of times. This is your 8th performance, I believe, at the Bankhead Theater.
Really, I lost the count, but always I'm very happy to be back to the theater.
Oh, well, we love you too, and we have such a fondness for you, and the audience really responds well to you and your music. And I gotta ask, if you've been here almost 8 times, have you ever had a chance to walk around Livermore or get to know the town at all?
Well, before and after, and a little bit, but it's beautiful scenery, and the audience is always very enthusiastic. At the same time, very shows lots of respect and love. So I'm always, and the theater is very intimate, so we feel connection. So I love that.
No, well, thank you. I think it's one of the few places where you can have a conversation with the audience. I feel like, they really respond well.
Yes.
Well, I think they're going to want to know, they've been coming a lot for a long time. And I'd love to ask you a little bit about some of your musical background and how you got
Okay.
started. I did read that you started playing piano around the age of 5. That's correct?
Yes, correct.
Yeah. At what point were you thinking I can make a career out of this? When did you feel like you were getting to that point?
Well, I was very active child and into sports, into studying, and but at the same time, I was taking private piano lessons. But started classical, but I kind of shows interest towards many different genre, including jazz, pops, movie soundtrack, and then but never thought about becoming professional musician. But when I had opportunity to compose for a movie soundtrack when I was in high school, and that was a serious featured movie in Japan. And when director told me about this story and image, and then suddenly I received the motif, the melody of that theme song, and I wrote it, and then director chose that melody as a main theme song. And after the all the movie, all the progress has done, and I saw the screening first view with all the production people and industry people, and I saw my theme with orchestra and ringing at the credit back end row, and I felt like, wow, and this is such a different thing. Like I was composing and performing, but this is something with a visual, and music plus visual was not only two, and expanding more. And then I found like, oh wow, I love that. And also I found that I start catching the melodies. Since then, I felt something special about being a musician.
You had to do it.
What was the name of the movie?
It's called Drifting.
Drifting.
Yeah, Drifting. And the boat drifting into the kind of faraway island. And it's like survival movie.
Oh, cool. Can we
It's a Japanese movie?
Yes, Japanese movie. Japanese movie from Toho. Toho is the biggest movie company. Yeah.
And so we know you grew up in Japan, and I was going to ask, well, also with that movie, is there a place we can find it? Is it online? Is it streaming, do you think? Can we find it?
The movie?
Yeah.
I think so, but it was so serious movie, so didn't hit the market.
Oh, really?
But for sure, it's and the actor is Kinya Kitaoji. He's a famous actor too.
Okay. How old were you again when you did that?
It was like 17.
Wow. I wasn't doing anything like that at 17. Well, you're known out here for your jazz music, and I gotta ask, you grew up in Tokyo. Is jazz pretty popular in Japan?
Well, in my era, yes, getting popular, and also we could see some great artists is coming to Tokyo, and I saw not only jazz, I saw Stevie Wonder, concert at the Budokan, which is in that era, that was the biggest theater. And that inspired me a lot because every song, like strong melodies and with lots of heart and peace, love. And then he filled the theater. So that was great memory.
How did you, as you said, you started off with classical music.
Mm-hmm.
How did you discover jazz? Do you remember?
Yes, some point I took the lesson of organ, and then I started to sing and hearing the chart of sometimes like jazz, but the classical crossover jazz, like Gershwin, Rhapsody in Blue, and also Beatles, Beatles, or and also I found my mom loves music, so I found the vinyl of Oscar Peterson, Ella Fitzgerald, and Keith Jarrett, and then gradually I started learning music theory. At the same time, I started listening and copying some of the great artists, and including like Herbie Hancock, of course, and Chick Corea, and then newer era Joe Sample and Bob James, who became good friend later. But
Wow.
Those era was a great student era.
I was going to ask you who your early influences were, and you just answered that question. So let's. I was actually listening to your new album yesterday, by the way, which I very lovely, Euphoria, and it looked like you might have another release that just came out. Is that right, or is that this Euphoria?
Yes, this was end of March.
Okay, this is the newest one. And are we going to hear some of that in the concert?
Yes, this time I put special repertoire and set list, and this is going to be the kind of showcase to play many songs from this one, and also we will include some classic hits of my composition. But for me, this is very like something came from different dimensions, and it includes lots of hope and energy and love, for sure.
Like the way you hear the music, or it comes to you, is very interesting to hear you talk about that. And it sounds like this album came to you from a different place, and you just had to get it out, right?
Yes.
Can you talk a little bit about that process of how you write and like where the creativity comes from? Do you have to be alone in a room, or do you go travel somewhere? Do you record all the time? Like what's your process like?
Yes, I've been trying to correct many motifs as much as possible before starting really arranging. So this time we had a strange time, pandemic. So yeah, and I just wanted to get together with everyone in the studio. So till then, I decided, okay, I'm gonna correct the motifs. So about a year and a half, I was catching motifs and melodies, and over like about 120 motifs I had. And then last summer, I went to the studio, but before that, I squeezed down with my co-producer, Barhana, my manager. So 120 to 40, and 40 to 20, 20 to 12. So and when I squeezed down, and then each song I completed the composing part. So that much my position is like a composer, but when I squeeze down the songs, it's like a producer view, perspective. And then decide the musicians and some songs arrangers, and then polish the song and decided instrumentation. And finally, beginning of July, we went to studio, United Studio in Hollywood, And finally, we could see each other and playing in the same room and hearing each other. So that was special, precious moment.
What's that like? So you have this idea and you kind of write it all down, you compose this, you think of all the parts, and then when you hear it for the first time, what's that like for you?
When I hear, sometimes I catch in the dream, and when I wake up, still I remember, then I write it down. And also, sometimes I just sat in front of the piano and just wait. Nothing comes, and sleep, and again wake up. But always I feel like catching from the silence. So when I try to play, then easily I can play with my phrases, but I wanted to avoid that because I believe that there's something special coming for this particular album. And beginning is very much, I put pressure over me too much. And then I realized that, well, you have shows and my fans are waiting. I received a message like, Keiko, I'm waiting for your new beautiful melody. And that inspires me and became the song like New Passage, this end of the song, album. I named that because of my fans' thought reflected. So then I start feeling like, okay, I can do anything, and I have a white canvas and 100% I can express myself. Then release the pressure and start catching the melodies.
Wow. And you said you had 120 or so motifs. So are the rest of those, you narrowed it down to 12. Are those other ones waiting to be composed? Or are you going to put those on a different album, or do you move on, or does it just keep coming to you?
Yes, just coming to me, and of course I squeeze down. So there were leftover songs from a previous album, but always I don't look back. So just want to try to catch freshly.
Yeah.
And sometimes I received certain melody like Rosso Cantabile, example. That song, the melody, main verse melody I received in Redondo Beach, California. And then the other part, like a bass line and a strings line, all these phrases I caught in Tokyo while I was walking around my suburb of Tokyo, my residential area. I catch that, and then I realized, okay, that melody combined to this bass line and the strings would be great. So I was kind of correcting, and I received inspiration from many places and different part of the place too.
Wow. It sounds like it's almost spiritual.
Yes, sometimes very mystic, sometimes.
Yeah. For this concert coming up, is it you and the band, or how many pieces is it? Is it just you? What are we gonna have see here?
Yes, this time I'd love to play with my I call my family on the road, and they've been traveling with me in Japan and Europe many years. So on drums, Jimmy Branley, who was born in Cuba, and bass, Rico Bered, who is from Holland, and he's a member of, as known as Rippington bass player. And the guitarist from Brazil, and JP. So all four of us, quartet, yes. So we are going to perform and this special repertoire.
Wow, I remember last time you were here, I was really impressed with your band. I just thought they were such good musicians. So good job in surrounding yourself with such great talent and being the center of that. So I think it's going to be a wonderful show. So we're really looking forward to it. Just for fun, I always like to ask what music are you listening to right now yourself personally?
Well, well, usually I don't listen to
Oh no.
because traveling so much and
Yeah.
I better sleep. So, but still I love sometimes classical music and also like Sting or
Yeah.
Stevie Wonder and sometimes here and there I listen, but basically I like the silence.
That's great. Well, that's when you can hear your own music come to you, I guess.
Right,
Oh,
right. So you need the silence for being able to catch those melodies and
Yeah.
bass lines and other
yeah.
phrases that you were talking about, don't you?
Especially when I'm on the creating mode for the
Right.
new album. Yeah, I just concentrate on that,
You and
listening,
I have
touching.
similar you and I have similar tastes in music. I love Sting, I love Stevie
Oh,
Wonder,
really?
Beatles. You
Okay.
named yeah, Ella Fitzgerald. You named up all these people. I'm like, oh yeah, you and I would have fun hanging out listening to music together.
Okay, let's go out.
August
Well,
4th.
August 4th, and I don't want to take up too much of your time. I know you're busy, but we want to try a little game with you. I hope that's okay. And it's going to be like a speed round.
Oh,
It's we're calling this either or. So we're gonna start off easy and then it's gonna get hard. But I'm
what?
gonna give you two choices.
Uh-huh.
Say two words and you say which one you like better.
So, which one
So
is better?
I'm gonna say something like chocolate or peanut butter, and then you say which one do you like better.
Okay.
So if I
Okay.
said chocolate or peanut butter, what would you say?
Chocolate.
Chocolate. Okay. If I say mountains or the coast,
Coast.
the coast. iPhone or Android?
iPhone.
iPhone. Elvis or the Beatles?
Beatles.
Good, you got that one right. Um, Country or rock and roll?
Oh, that's hard. Maybe rock and roll.
Rock and roll, okay. Winter or summer?
Summer.
Dogs or cats?
Oh, I love everybody but the cats.
That's okay. Burger King or McDonald's?
Ooh, between.
Okay, in the middle. The letter K or the letter M?
Okay.
Okay. Drums or bass?
Ooh, they are my favorite. So always I tried it. On this album. I have three different group. Anyway, so drums.
Drums, okay.
We won't
Jazz
tell the bass
or
player.
we won't tell anybody. Jazz or blues?
Blues.
Blues. All right, we're gonna get tough now. Major keys or minor key?
Minor key.
Minor. Chick Corea or Herbie Hancock?
Wow, that's so hard. Ooh. Both.
Both. San Francisco or New York?
Ah. If I have to choose one, then San Francisco,
San
maybe.
Francisco. Okay. San Francisco or Tokyo?
Ah, wow. Tokyo.
Tokyo. Tokyo or Kyoto?
Kyoto, I haven't discovered all yet, but I have yearning to Kyoto.
Okay. Last one. Livermore on August 4th or anywhere else in the world?
Of course, Livermore.
Yay! Well, we're really looking forward to you coming out here on August 4th. We know it's going to be a great show, and the ticket sales are really good, so you're going to have a great audience.
Right.
And wish you the best of luck on your tour. We're so grateful that you're coming out to Livermore and being a part of the art scene out here. So thank you, Keiko.
Thank you for having us. And I hope that we can do autograph session after the show, right? We
You
can
got
do
it.
that.
We will
Okay.
set that up.
Absolutely.
Yeah.
Keiko,
All
thank
right.
you so
I
much.
bring this. Okay,
Yay.
thank you.
Well, have a
Thank
great
you so
day.
much.
Thank you. We'll
Thank
see you
you.
soon. Take care.
Okay, see you soon. Thank you very much.
Bye.
Thank you.
Ciao, ciao.
Bye. I want to know, what was your favorite subject in school?
My favorite subject in school? Oh my God. Like high school or elementary school? Can I say fourth grade?
Yes, you can say fourth grade.
That's when I peaked academically.
That was your peak. It's been all downhill since you were 9.
Yeah, pretty much.
All right.
A lot of hills and valleys.
What or who were your favorite songs or artists or albums from your childhood or adolescence? One song or album that will always make you feel nostalgic.
I'll tell you 2 or 3. The first album I ever bought was at a garage sale, and it was Styx. Kilroy Was Here because it had Mr. Roboto on it, which I thought was an incredible song. So that was the first piece of music I ever purchased for 10 cents. And I still have that tape. It was a tape, and it doesn't sound very good anymore, but I still own it. The first record I ever bought, vinyl record, was Quiet Riot with Come On Feel the Noise. So I went through kind of a little bit of a glam metal phase when I was young. But then when I was starting my adolescence, when I was probably about 14, I really got into prog rock and progressive rock and roll music. And I loved Midnight Oil and REM. And there was an REM album that I still listen to today, Green.
I think
was probably my favorite album of all time.
I think they just came out with a new album, I heard. REM. I feel like I just saw a headline that was talking about.
They've been broken up for several years, but maybe I'll take a look.
Yeah, there's some lost recordings, something like that.
Oh, maybe.
Maybe they released it as an album, something along those lines. Or maybe I'm misremembering, but it was just a couple days ago.
That hit me at the very perfect age. And if there's a lot of research that shows the music that you're fondest for or that brings back the best feelings is the music that you listened to when you were about 14. It's so that's what I was listening to at that time.
Yeah, I'm trying to remember what I listened to when I was 14. And it was probably something that my sisters or my brother really wanted to play that was like, oh, I don't know, would have been like Elvis Costello.
Yeah.
Huge in our house. Yeah. We were big Elvis Costello fans. Bruce Springsteen was a huge album for us. Born to Run, the Born to Run album. I feel like I know every lyric of every song on the Born to Run album.
Wow.
Yeah. And then I saw him on my 15th birthday.
That's awesome.
Yeah, it was really awesome.
You know, when I was that age, I thought the lyrics were the most important thing for any song, and I would pour over lyrics in the sleeve of the record and all that. And it's funny nowadays, I hardly ever even pay attention to the lyrics, but for some reason,
the music, right?
And so you're trying to find it in the music, yeah. And I just was always trying to figure out what they were trying to say. I think that's why I liked REM a lot. It's because it was very a little bit obscure. It was kind of a puzzle, and you really had
and they had something to say.
Yeah, and they did.
Yeah. And based on what you just said about listening to the music versus the lyric, we just watched over the spring. We watched the Wu-Tang an American Saga, Wu-Tang Clan American Saga. It was on Hulu, or it is on Hulu, and just like, I don't understand the lyrics at all, and I see them up on, like, we look at the lyrics, you know, and I see them up on the screen and everything, and we're listening to it, still don't really understand what they're saying, but the beats are incredible. Just, they make you want to listen, you know, and so it doesn't matter what the lyrics are. So it's sort of similar to that feeling of just hearing the beats and hearing what they put together as the music to tell their story. It's interesting Because
Yeah.
up until that point, I don't think I'm the type of person who actually listens. Like if I listen to classical music, I'm listening. But a lot of times I'm just listening for the lyrics, you know.
Well, I don't know if I'm just becoming an old man, but like sometimes I think like the lyrics now are not as good. Yeah, I think that's an old man thing, and it's
That's
just
definitely an old man thing.
yeah.
You shouldn't say that out loud.
I'm not I'm not as inspired by
Well,
this new music, even though I like it.
you still have teenagers in the house, so you're hearing. Are you hearing the music that they play?
Uh, yeah, but they like all the stuff that I listen to, and I went on a camping trip with my son recently, and all they would listen to was Leonard Skinner over and over again, like songs from 40, 50 years ago. And they're like, this is the best music. I know it's not
I know.
now, but
My
it used to
youngest
be
came home from my youngest came home from college, and like her freshman year. So she was like, I'm really getting into Chicago. And I'm like, really?
that was
and,
like
and she's
I
like,
was at
oh,
home
but
once.
Fleetwood Mac is really good. And I'm like, okay.
Yeah, I've been listening to them for a long time. My son, I came home once and we're like in the kitchen, and my son goes, Alexa, play ELO. I'm like, ELO? When did you hear about
ELO.
ELO? So I don't know. It's a good music last, I guess.
Yeah. Yeah. All right. Chris, thank you so much. It was fun to talk to Keiko, and I think we're done. Thanks for joining us today for Beyond the Stage. You can get your tickets to Keiko Matsui and all of our shows for the upcoming 23-24 season at livermorearts.org. That's livermorearts.org, or you can call our box office at 925-373-6800. And again, thanks for joining us, and we'll see you next time.